Okay, this is week 5 on adding controls to the form. I'll also use basic calculations and show you a select case, what that is. So you created an app called Basic Math. I do suggest looking at the program solution link as you go through this podcast. So you're going to add change the name of the form to FRM main. Here's the size of the property, 308,195, and go to the property startup position and change it to center screen. So there's my form. I changed the name property to FRM main, change the file name to FRM main. If you do get the error down here when you do that, double click on it and change it. It'll kick you to this line here. You need to change form 1 to FRM main. Size property is here, 308 to 195. Start property is here, center screen. So when you start the form app, it shows up in the middle of your computer screen. Going on, add a couple text boxes. I'll give you the name property and the size dimension property. I want the exact size there. You'll line them up right on top of each other. You'll put the label to the right of the bottom text box, name it LBL main. Property, the text property X. Add a label below the text box. The bottom text box, LBL total is a name property. Turn the auto size to false and size 130 to 20. So here's the two text boxes. Text number 1, size 130 by 20. TXT number 2, change the name property, size property 130 by 20. Label, LBL math to the right of the bottom text box. LBL math, don't worry about the size on that one, but do change the text property to X. Then the label, you're going to do auto size off and 130 by 20 and LBL total. And here's the label. LBL total on the name, auto size you will turn off or false, and change the size property to the same size as the two above text boxes, 130 by 20, 130 wide, 20 pixels high. Make sure the text property is emptied out, and you'll put it in there right below and line it up with the two text boxes here. Lastly, you'll put a button in there, LBL total. BTN calc's the name, calculate is the text property, 130 by 20. There it is. Name property, size property, and text property. Then what you're going to do is double click on the button, enter the code to calculate the two text boxes, place total in the label. You can put information also in a sentence and use the symbol ampersand to perform those calculate the string concatenation. Challenge, once you're done and that's finished up to this one, which that's, by the way, the example, what I'm going to show you. The challenge is you're going to make sure and watch the podcast on this closely. You're going to add a Dropbox combo box to the right of the label here that I had you put in here. Actually here. Nope, sorry. The label total here. So put a combo box to the right of that. You'll go to the collection property and add in the times, minus, plus, and division symbols, one per line. Change a logic and a button click to use a drop-down combo box. That way they can put the two numbers in the text boxes and be able to change it from multiplication, subtraction, addition, or division. Hit calculate and then it'll show up here. So let me go ahead and show you how it runs as is with just the multiplication. So I'm going to put 2 and 2, calculate 4. Let's do it again. Let's do 3 and 3, calculate 9. Now, let's look at the code here for the calculate button. In order to get the calculate button to show up properly with the value, or the label total to show up properly with the value, this label here, all you have to do is val the text box, put an ampersand or a asterisk in the middle of it, which stands for the math type multiplication, and then the total is going to go in the total text box. You could also put in here something like, to use a concatenation string, total is let's run that. There we go. Now, to take it a step further, you'll notice some code I have commented out here. We're going to go back to the form main, and I've already added a combo box here. The combo box is this object here you'll drag over, make it about this width here roughly. You'll go to the collection property, hit the ellipsis. You're going to add in times, minus, division, and plus. Okay. Now for this example here, the code I have, I'm only going to implement the times and plus. So you'll have some to do on your own here. So I'm just going to do time and plus only. Click OK. Also, I'm going to change the property of that combo box to where users are forced to select only what's in the combo collection to drop down list. So again, add a combo box. I name mine CBO Math. You can name yours whatever else you want to. Just make sure it has to do with something to do with math equations of some type. It could be CBO equations. Remember, I went to collection, added the two items, times and plus. Then I'm going to double click right up here where my mouse is hovering over. When I double click there, it's going to be the form level load command. And notice I have in here CBO math.selected index equals 0. What that's going to do is load up the first instance, the first item in the collection, which is 0, x for times. Now, I've already, when I ran this currently, right now, that's not showing up, but it will. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. I'm going to take the time symbol I have in there with the label. I'm going to go to the visible property and change it to false. My combo math, CBO math, I'm going to also change that to true on the visible property. And now I'm going to go to the calculate command. I'm going to go to the line that we are using right now, this LBO total.text equals, and I'll comment it out. Then I'm going to show you how to do a case select. A case select is where you have a value in code, and then that value can be caught by different cases within that value. So here's a case select I'm going to be using. I'm going to highlight these lines of code, go up to Visual Studio at the top, and click uncomment. I forgot one right up here. I got to do the select case one as well. There we go. So I'm going to do a select case CBO math, that's the new combo box, .txt. So what this is going to do is anytime when this comes to this code, it's going to see what value the user selected, the times or the plus. If it's the times, it's going to go to this line, and it's going to multiply the two numbers together. If it's a plus, it's going to sum the two numbers together. So let's go and run it. The 0 worked. Notice it's at the multiplication. So I'm going to put 2, 2, calculate. No change. Why is that? Let's look at it. I can put a breakpoint right here. And you'll notice when I put a breakpoint, let me click on it. Let me run it. 2. All right. Breakpoint says CBO math has a contents of X. There's no X in there. There's only a asterisk and a plus. So in order to fix that, all I've got to do is go in here and change this case to X. Leave the code here as it is for this one. That's multiplication. But notice on the plus, I have minus in there. I need to change that to plus. So let's run it again. Keep the breakpoint in there. 2, 2. Hover over the code. It says now on that. I can hover over that. I'm going to step through it by clicking on this item here. There it is. And it caught the X because that's what I selected. I'm going to click continue. And that's correct. Now let's change this X for multiplication to plus. Same deal. I'm going to click on that again and take the breakpoint off. Continue. There we go. Now let's change it up a little bit. Let's change the 3 to 2. 2 to 3. So it'll be 3 plus 2, 5. Change the 3 times to times 2, 6. So for the challenge, you're going to take and add to what I've done. And you're going to add in addition to what we've already done, the minus and the division symbol into the combo drop box. Once you're finished, you'll compress, as always, the folder, submit it into week 5. If you need help, definitely click on the package and send program success link. This link here will give you the source code of what we just went over. Have a great week.